This is week 1, belief, and this is video 2. We are energy beings, belief in the energy that flows through us and around us and in us. If we look around here, this beautiful spot in British Columbia, you can see these beautiful old trees that grow out of the rocks, surrounded by fauna, growth, ferns, the moss that's on everything. All of these things have energy. They're living things. They produce energy. And of course, we have the energy of the water coming down the little falls that you can hear in the background. The energy of the sun coming to us through the trees here. All of these are energy. And our bodies are made to absorb this energy. When we look at the ground, for example, the ground is loaded with what we call ions. And these are negative ions. Our bodies are loaded with positive ions. As we walk barefoot out here, those ions enter our bodies, neutralize, and create an energy connection. We have energy that we receive through our senses. We receive the green color that you see all around here that comes into our eyes. We are absorbing that energy. The sound of the water in the background, we are absorbing that energy through our ears. There are eardrums. The air, the very air around us, we can feel it. We're absorbing that energy. We are in a way becoming one with the energy around us. We take in life, and as sentient beings, we give back love. Love for what we see, love for life. So as energy, I want to go one step farther. We not only exist in an energy field, but we create energy. One of the most powerful way we create energy is through the body, and particularly through the heart. The heart has two kinds of energy, of course. The energy when it's pumping blood, it's energy. It absorbs the energy from the body that it takes in the forms of sugars and breaks them down. But it also has this electromagnetic energy that sort of creates a space around us that some people recognize as aura. And that aura can change colors depending on our mood and depending on our inner feelings. So even our feelings generate a certain kind of energy. We then move on to the brain, and the brain works on energy, electromagnetic impulses, electrochemical impulses. Those chemicals are the neurotransmitters. The impulse comes through the brain and through a system of ions. Phosphorus, not phosphorus, but sodium. And what's the other one? Potassium. These are ions, and it's the way these two ions interconnect in the little nodes within the nerves that creates an impulse. So we have that kind of energy. But there's still another kind of energy, and that's what I would call spiritual energy. We have this mind, but this mind is operating on on the electrical chemical impulses, but there's something more than that. We seem to be connected to some kind of spiritual energy. This is the energy of miracles. This is the energy that makes things happen. This is the energy that is those impulses within our brain, within our minds, that are creative, that create love, that operate with the heart and operate with the minds to create what we call the higher self. Body, mind, heart, and soul. If we want to maximize our abilities to connect in this earth with other people and to create the kind of lives we want to live, we need this energy. We need to absorb the energy from nature. We need to absorb the spiritual energy coming from what I believe is a higher power. We need to take this energy into our bodies and manufacture life and give it back again through compassion and through love. When we look at energy, we want to make sure we maintain that energy. So Belief then is believing in the energy, believing we are energy beings, and then putting that belief into practice. One of the ways that I think we should look at it is that we either grow energy by absorbing it, by creating it through the love energy that we can distribute to others, or we deplete it. When we grow it, it is positive energy. It's energy that flows through us and out to others. When we deplete it, it's when we depend too much on the mind to do those things that the mind wants to do, which of course is things like work as opposed to play, or things like creating anger, frustration. We don't have to live with that kind of energy. We can call this kind of energy negative energy. Love, appreciation, gratitude, gentleness, peace, these are all positive forms of energy. They're lower vibration forms of energy. When we look at an EEG, it shows up as delta waves or as theta waves, or perhaps even alpha waves. These are wavelengths, peaceful wavelengths that create kind of an aura around us and create a connection with other living things. Whereas the negative ones come from our systems, mainly our hormone systems, which typically is things like adrenaline and cortisone, which generate this sort of, it's kind of a static kind of energy. When you think of like electricity, there's two kinds of electricity. Direct current, well, that's sort of like the positive energy. Whereas when we look at alternating current, it's back and forth, sort of short little jabs going all the time. Those are negative energy. They're great for doing things, but once we finish doing things, we have to become again people of peace. So I guess my advice to you is to be aware of the positive energy. Try to focus on it. Try to expand it. Try to balance it with the negative energy that we need for our work and for our mental processes. But the other thing I think is to realize where that comes from. Perhaps we have what some people call the shadow self. So we have our sort of angelic self, our positive self. And then we have those past experiences which our brain links together into mind states. These mind states form beliefs. And it's these shadow-type beliefs that create the negative energy. Too much of that negative energy leads to things like generalized anxiety and eventually a shutting down and depression. So we want to make sure that we keep that balance, that the positive energy is always flowing, and the negative energy is being shrinking it in our system by being aware of our shadow self and being aware of our angelic self and choosing to live with the angel in us. That's the end of video 2.